Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Funtime Crafts 24/7. I have a little tutorial here. I was bagging up all the cards I made for the Stamps of Life 10 cards 1 kit, and I have in my stash these Simon Says stamp envelopes, but when I was going to, put these in here, I didn't like the fit necessarily. I thought that they were just a tad too large. The envelope was a tad too large for my taste, and I forgot about these Stamps of Life slimline dies being a little bit smaller than some of the other cards that I make. So I wanted to go ahead and make my own envelopes, and I have a couple of tricks that I've learned after using the punch board, and I really like how these came out. And colored envelopes too, anyways, really add sometimes quite a bit of flair if you're selling your cards at like a craft fair or a bazaar or something like that. To frame them, they can add a little bit more interest and make them more fun. So with that, I was going to show you how to do them on the punch board. And so what I do is, oh, and then the other thing I was going to share was, while I was backing these up, I was looking at my cards and I thought, these two I thought were a little bit more plain than I wanted them to be. And so the fun thing is, when you're going and buying all these little embellishments and stuff like that, well, you kind of tend to forget them at the end, to put them, or at least I do. I sometimes forget that, oh, I could have added that or I could have added this, especially when you're making a video. When you're at home just doing it, you can, putter along and add here, add there until you're completely satisfied with the card. And so what I did on these was I have these Stamps of Life 3D pens, and on this one here I added gold. It's like a glitter gold to the center of these flowers here, and I thought that added just the right touch, the right flair, and they'll be a little bit more shimmery once they fully dry. And then this one here, I have this, oh, wrong one. I have this opal Stamps of Life. It's like an opal shimmer white pen, and I added it to the middle of the flowers, and then 3 drops on each side of the note card. And then I added a pink, some pink dots around the flower, and then up at the top there. And I thought that just added the right amount of extra, just the right amount of oomph to the card to make it even more interesting and more fun. And so don't be afraid to later go and add. If you're, what could it use? Kind of pull out some of this extra stuff, your glitter glues and things like that, your stickles, whatever. And a lot of times that will be just a perfect amount, just that little extra that it needed to finish it off. So, okay, so with that, let's make an envelope here. So I have the 3-in-1. Oh, and before I get too far, if you're packaging them up, I don't want to forget to tell you about these. If you're packaging them up for a craft fair or to sell, these are the bags that I use. If you go to www.clearbags.com, the 4 1/4 by 11 1/4, 1.6 mil, and these are the clear. They're the ones with the flaps. They come in 100 pieces, and they're really inexpensive. And it's a great value. It's actually the best value that I've found to package cards is on clear bags, because they sell the A2 size, they sell the 5x7 size, they sell any size, honestly, that you could think of. But they're the clear ones with the flaps. Those are the ones that I like. They're self-sealing. They're great. Anyways, clearbags.com. And so then, with that, let's get on to the envelope. So what I do is I go and I measure my card. If you're wanting a tight fit envelope, you want to measure your card. And so this Stamps of Life card measures 3.5 by 8.5. So then you're going to look that up on your, where it says envelope, and you're going to go 3.5 by 8.5. It wants you to cut a 9 3/4 inch paper. and then you're going to score it at the 3 1/8 mark. So what I've done is I have a piece of scrapbook paper, and you can get scrapbook paper relatively cheap, whether at Michael's in a giant pack or at Joann's. A lot of mine I get at Joann's.com or at Joann's Fabric, the store. And you can get a big bundle of pretty good cardstock for making envelopes at a very good price. So I've already cut this down to 9 3/4 by 9 3/4. And so then we're going to put our little leg out here for our punch board. And then it said to line it up at 3 1/8. So there's my 3 1/8. Oh, wait, get the little score tool out. And you're going to follow the lines that it says. So this is punch board line A. And that's the one it says to use to make the envelope. The line B is for if you're making box envelopes. So I'm going to go over to 3 1/8. I'm going to punch to get my corner. And then you're going to follow the A. This is the A one. You're going to put your score tool all the way in and press and follow that all the way down. Then you're going to take, and that score line that you just made, you're going to line it up with the other envelope score groove. And how I do that is I go just a tad past, line it up at the top up here. You're going to bump the paper up to the stop here. Go just past, and then move it in, and you're going to feel the score line. It's going to hit a groove. Well, normally it hits the groove. Maybe I didn't score it enough. And it's just because I'm on camera. Yeah, you're going to hit, it's going to fall right into the groove. And it lines up with the edge of the score line. So then you're going to go ahead and you're going to punch. And you're going to score. And we'll do a little bit deeper this time. And then you're going to go just past. Let it fall into the groove. Punch, score again, and make sure to put your tool all the way in and press a little bit firm. Go all the way down, follow it all the way down. Same thing. Butt it up to the edge here on all the score lines. You're going to keep going all the way around, and then you're going to go, okay, just past, and then into the groove. And it will line up every time. And then you'll see that the other ones line up too. See? So you get a square. So then what you're going to do is, let's put our leg in, and now we're going to round our edges. That's what this top corner is for on your punch board if you've never used one. We're going to punch all of them to make them round. Okay, and then we don't need this anymore, but we still need the score tool. So then, now these flaps, because it's a slimline, normally if it's an A2 size card or 5x7, generally all the flaps fold in really nice together. But because this is slimline, you have to trim off a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. So here's a little trick for making a straight cut. You're going to take this score line and you're going to line it up on your on 3 3/4. So the width of your envelope then ended up being 4 inches wide. So for this flap, for when it folds onto the inside, and this one to go on the outside so it doesn't go over your edges, your score line edges, I did it at 3 3/4 is where I lined mine up. This fold line on 3 3/4, so I can see it here. So there's the top, and then I'll come down here and follow my 3 3/4 up, and I'm going to cut the end off. I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing on the other long side. And this is on the long side. You don't have to do anything on the short side. So score line on 3 3/4, score line on 3 3/4. And this will give you a nice straight edge for when you fold over. So then you're going to fold up on the score line. The bump goes up, fold over, crease it, fold over, crease it, And sometimes when you're folding on the score lines, you kind of have to help the paper go where it should go. It doesn't always go where you want it to. So you have to kind of help it. Encourage it to go in the direction you want. And then I always fold the long sides in on these. I think it looks better when it's all said and done. And then, oh, sorry guys. So when it's all glued and closed up, I think it looks the nicest this way. So what I do is on the bottom 3 sides, I glue them. And so I put glue all the way around on the bottom. I don't go all the way to the corner. I just go up a little bit and then go all the way around, because this is the last flap to go in. So then on here, I fold it over and kind of eyeball where it ends. And because I know this one's folding on top and this one's going up, I can go all the way around the edge on this one. So just be aware of what flap goes down first and what is they're going to go over on each other. But this one, I don't want to glue down here. So I'm going to glue from here, the straight edge here, all the way to about there, to make sure I don't get any glue on the inside of my envelope and I don't seal it closed. That's the purpose of that. So the 2 long ones in, and then the short one up, and then press. There we go. And there we go. And then you can check that. And then I made a pink one because I can always use pink. And then perfect fit. Perfect size. See, it lines up just lovely. See how nice that looks? And so then for the top, since I'm selling these, I like people to be able to close them. They don't have to glue it or tape it or anything. So I always put score tape at the top. And it will give it a nice little seal. Leave the, the backer on. There you go. And then there you have a nice little package. And then when it's all said and done, it looks like this. And then when you put them in your sleeve, I try to line them up, to where the envelope kind of frames it, especially if they're colored. So that way when you're displaying them, they look really pretty. It's a really nice presentation. I really like that. So just wanted to share that. Yeah, if you don't, if you wanted to make your own and you don't have a die to make the slimlines or whatnot, get your envelope punch board out and utilize that with a piece of scrapbook paper that's pretty cheap. And then you don't have to buy them. And they fit much nicer when they're handmade. So hope you guys are having a great weekend, and we'll catch up again with you really soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.